Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Saturday morning the 12th of July. And guess whose birthday it is today? Guess who the birthday girl is today? It's Tilly! Tilly is 9 years old today. Another year older, but none the wiser. So today we are talking about missing siblings, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan from Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, Canada. They were reported missing on the morning of May the 2nd by their mother, Michelle Brooks Murray. There was a dog track down the driveway, there was boot prints near the driveway, apparently on some kind of pothole that Janie, Daniel's mother, had filled in like the day or so before. That's according to Darren. Well, Darren being Michelle's first cousin twice removed, but who has been chomping at the bit to champion Janie, Daniel's mother. Daniel, of course, is Lily and Jack's stepdad. Janie is Daniel's mother. She lives on the same property. Different trailers. She lives in the little RV at the back of the property, whilst the family were living in the bigger trailer. Up to May the 3rd, when Michelle just did one. She just left with her family, with the baby. Incredibly unusual. I've never known a case where a child is missing, let alone two children are missing, and their mother leaves like 24 hours after they went missing and has never been back. Won't even communicate with Daniel. Anyhow, we're going to talk about Janie in this video because apparently she has a timeline and she's going to tell all in an upcoming interview. Let's discuss that. Before we get into that, I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's an achievement for any YouTuber to reach 100,000 subscribers because you get a silver YouTube play button that you can display on your wall. And I just fancy it. I think there's a great place on my wall in my house for 100,000 subscribers plaque. So please help me out. I know that nearly 50% of people who watch my videos, sometimes on a regular basis, don't subscribe. It's completely free. All you've got to do is click the subscribe button. It's no skin off your nose. So we have heard from Darren when he was talking with Sonny from It's a Crime and Shame that Janie has the timeline. And this is a great catch by 1111 True Crime, who went through some posts that Daniel made in a live stream by It's a Crime and Shame. She went through a series of chat posts by Daniel. He's all over the place, right? He's in YouTube chats, he's watching everything, and I think 1111 got it right when she said that Daniel, he's watching all the chats and then he can adapt his words. He can take into account the things that are being said, and he can vary his story or add to his story based on what people are saying. Impression management, it's called in psychology. Anyway, Daniel says Mom discusses full timeline in interview. So we had heard from Darren a little while ago now that Janie was going to be interviewed by CBC News. Daniel has recently been interviewed by CBC, as was Belinda, the children's paternal grandmother. She's the mother of Cody, who is Lily and Jack's biological father. He doesn't have anything to do with them, but Belinda has had a relationship with the kids up to about 18 months ago, and then Michelle stopped calling, she stopped visiting, and she didn't want Belinda to visit. Belinda didn't even know the address of where they lived. And Michelle says it's because Daniel was controlling her. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. This interview that Janie's going to do. So Darren said it. Now Daniel has said it. That Janie has been interviewed by the news and she's going to tell all. So could Janie be the hero of the case? Could she be the one to crack the case? Could she be the one, you know, if she insisted that this is the timeline, that what she told Darren was true, and she's going to come out and tell all. And that will force RCMP's hand to actually act on this information that Janie apparently told RCMP very early on in the case. But they've done nothing about it, seemingly. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they've investigated in the background if that's actually what Janie said, and she's not just making stuff up for social media. Or that Darren has made stuff up for social media. Like Darren and Janie have concocted some kind of story for social media. You don't think that anyone would do that in a missing child's case? Well, I'll give you the Summer Wells case from Northeast Tennessee. Summer went missing on June 15th, 2021. And in the first year, her dad, and to a lesser extent, her mother, went all over YouTube, coming into chats, coming onto panels, drunk and acting like an absolute clown. I've got 7 alibis. Anybody remember that one? Yeah, okay. Well, Don and Candice, Summer's parents, pranked everybody. I believed it. I truly believed it. You know, the call to Mary, Don's stepsister, where she was absolutely heartbroken that Don was arrested, that Don was being beaten up and arrested. It was all lies. Don has lied, saying that Summer was kidnapped by a Mexican cartel. I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff that Don said as well that I've either passed me by or I've forgotten at this point. So if you don't think that a family, you know, grown-up, mature members of a family wouldn't lead YouTube on and make up a load of lies, well, think again. Because the more cases you study, more disillusioned you become with humanity. Seriously. So, has Janie been interviewed by the news? Is she going to tell all? I don't know. But Darren said it. Daniel said it. I guess we need to wait and see. But if RCMP have investigated it behind the scenes and they don't think there's anything in it, then we're back to square one. RCMP have always maintained that they believe the children wandered into the woods and sadly are deceased. Have they looked into lots of other leads? Of course they have. Of course they have. But if Janie comes out talking to the news, then will it force RCMP's hand that they're going to come and put out a statement to say they have looked into that claim and there's nothing in it? I don't know. Could she be the hero of the case? Could she crack the case wide open? What on earth has she got that no one else has? Well, apparently she was in the unique position that something woke her up about 6-ish and she dozed a little bit. The dog was barking. She heard Lilly screaming, which aggravates the dog. And she heard Malaya going, shh. And this was very early in the morning. We don't know exactly what time because only Janie has the timeline. Only Janie is the keeper of the timeline. But when she got up, Malaya was on the driveway. Lilly and Jack were nowhere to be seen. Malaya said Lilly and Jack are missing. But actually, it all came out that Malaya gave the children to one of her friends and they drove them away to some undisclosed location. The reason being, Malaya didn't really want them, according to Daniel, but according to Darren, you know, via Janie, Malaya disappeared Lilly and Jack because she wanted to leave and she was meant to be leaving in a few hours' time. She didn't want anybody to be upset, so she was just going to leave. Well, why didn't she leave with Lilly and Jack if this story is true? So it will be interesting to see whether Janie will actually tell us all of that on the news. The thing is, though, Janie might tell all to the reporter and it might not get broadcast, you know, because the news edits interviews and they won't put out anything that they think is going to get them done for libel, that is defaming. So even if Janie tells all to the news reporter, we might never see it because they're not going to broadcast something that might get them into legal trouble. And accusing Malaya of disappearing Lilly and Jack with no evidence from RCMP or anywhere else, I think that's going to be problematic for the news to broadcast. So, Janie, why don't you come out to YouTube where there is no such problem? I mean, yes, of course you can get done for defamation on social media. Of course you can. As long as you say, this is what I believe, this is my opinion, this is all alleged, then you're going to get away with it. So, Janie, if you've got this information and you are genuine, then why don't you come out onto social media and tell us? Oh, Daniel. Daniel likes chatting. Daniel could come and give us the timeline. You know me, I'm a timelines person. If the timeline doesn't make sense, then I've got a problem. And the timeline in this case does not make sense. So while you're listening to this, Daniel, if you want your story, your side of this situation to be believable, then give us the timeline. It's the least you can do at this point. All right, guys, going to keep this one brief because it is hot, hot, hot here. It's already like 75 degrees and it's only 7 o'clock in the morning. So I don't handle heat. We don't get much heat here in the UK. Our houses aren't built for it. I discussed this on my members live stream yesterday. If you remember, then you'll be able to watch the replay. We talked about a bunch of stuff. I dared you to ask me anything. So we talked a little bit about true crime, but we just had a chat. You know, I'm British. We chat about the weather. It's going to get to 83 this afternoon. That's way too hot for me. I know it's only like barely warm for some of you guys. So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.